happen when we're alive is the Bears advancing and winning the Super Bowl. They play today against the Packers, right? Biggest rivalry in football history.
It shows me where I was like, hey, you remember Andy from high school? You remember Andy from college? I miss him. Andy right now is an adult. Nothing wrong with it, but like Andy as an adult needs to have more fun.
I'm not going to trip you. I'm going to play fair, but you'll definitely see your brother.
Yeah, no, and I
As,
don't doubt that. I do not doubt that at one point or another, I will see you at the race.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Manitos. I'm Elejayjay, accompanied by my brother, Nat from Toy Story.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
It's funny because I always wanted to start a podcast, right? It was always something I wanted to do. I did one in college, but it was like 3 episodes, um, and I did it with my buddies. And I never posted it anywhere, so the files are just on my phone or on an SD card. Um, but I made it a goal this year. I said, you know what? 2026, I'm starting a podcast. I'm eliminating all the excuses. So this is the first episode. But Chucky, correct me if I'm wrong. You also did one in college too, no?
Yeah, very similar experience. I also have it on my saved drives and everything like that. Just never posted it. It was always for fun. I know my buddies and I always talked about possibly posting them, but then every time I feel like we recorded, we listened back, we're like, maybe we'll just keep this one to ourselves for now. But yeah, definitely had that experience of recording podcasts in college too.
Yeah, it's funny because I recorded one with my buddy Gabe on a bus trip. I think on the way to New York, and we just on the bus, and then someone called out, and he's like, "Are you guys recording a podcast?" And we're like, "Yeah." And it was pretty cool. But it also was like we were talking like very very low because we didn't want anyone to hear us, but then everyone was hearing us, so it was awkward. But at the same time, we did what we wanted. So,
Nice.
um, but yeah, I mean, okay, so title of the podcast is Manitos. You used the word, you mentioned the word, and I really liked it. So do you want to describe what Manitos means and why we kind of titled it the way we did?
Well, of course, obviously we speak Spanish. I call Jason Mano all the time, or whatever, hermano. Obviously it's Spanish for brother. So calling it manitos is basically about two brothers that have things they want to get off their chest, things that they can talk about, things we have opinions on. I don't know why I was talking about us in the third part person, but things that you and I have knowledge on and like really interest and intrigue in the subject. So, Manitos is going to be a podcast really just about things we enjoy talking about, and hopefully that the people that do listen also do find interesting.
Exactly, exactly. And we didn't want to focus on one thing, something that you touched on, because we just want to talk. We're two brothers that want to talk. We talk all the time. We play Fortnite together. We do everything together. But, you know, sitting down and having a theme to kind of follow is pretty cool. So, let's kind of get into introductions because this being the first episode. I'll kind of start. So my name is Jason, but my gamer tag, which we decided to use, was Elejayjay. So, I'm a recent college graduate. Currently working in marketing. It's remote, so it's pretty fun. I made my own stand-up desk and everything, so it's pretty cool. Um, and then I also am pursuing my master's, so more school, which is tough. But I mean, I'm done in 2027 in May, so one more year, 18 months total. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. So
Yeah. I think one thing, Jay, we should also make it be known just so people don't think we're in like separate rooms. We're actually in separate states. That's another
yeah,
thing. We're in different states. Like Jason said, we do everything together. We are physically together, but virtually, we'll do it virtually together. So that's how we came down to utilizing this platform. What is it, Riverside FM Studio?
Riverside. Shout out to Riverside. It's not a. How do you say? It's not a promo, but Riverside.
Not
We'll
a
see
paid
how
ad.
how you do. Yeah.
But yeah, no, not from Toy Story. One thing that I heard growing up all the time is when I'd introduce myself, is like, how you doing? My name's Andy. They're like, Andy, like from Toy Story. So hence not from Toy Story. It's just Andy. You know what I'm saying? But what I do is I work. I'm a state worker, so I do a lot of interactions with individuals within the county that I serve. And on the side of that, I do enjoy, regularly being consistent with working out and, just doing music on the side and just really utilizing and enjoying the time that I have with myself, appreciating that alone time, or at least learning to and starting to love to being alone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing because not a lot of people can or like being alone. Um, for me, I love being alone, but it definitely has its like, dude, what do I do now? You know what I mean? So, kind of learning to live like that. Because, I mean, I'm technically living alone right now, live with mom and stuff, but she's working every day of the week, and she comes home on Monday through Wednesday at 11 p.m. So it's like you're kind of by yourself. You know what I mean? Which is fine too. But you get to do what you want. But this is where you kind of learn hobbies. You start a podcast. You start learning about other stuff, and truthfully, you start doing what you want to do because it's your life. So
Right. Exactly. Great way to put it. And I think that actually is a great way to kind of transition into one of the first things that we wanted to get to know about one of ourselves. Some of the things that we want to talk about, of course, to get to the people that are listening to know about us and kind of what our goals were. But first, I think it would be good to just have some quick little icebreaker questions. So I think I'll ask the question first and then I'll answer
okay,
it. And then Jason, if you're okay with it, you kind of let me know how you feel about that.
okay,
And
sweet,
then
go
your
for it.
2 cents. So one thing that Jason looked into was how our relationship has changed as adults. Okay, growing up with Jason, obviously my little brother. I'm sure the bigger brothers out there understand, like, when you have a little brother growing up, it's just I have to take him everywhere. He's annoying. I would say when I was 14, up until then, everything changed. I stopped seeing it more so as like it's an annoying little brother, but more so like, hey, that's my little brother that I felt like I had this responsibility to guide. And I don't, of course, legally need to, right, per se, but morally and ethically, I felt like I had this responsibility to give Jason, my little brother, insight on, again, overall this life stuff. So I feel like our relationship has changed as adults over time and experience of understanding and acknowledging that he is a human. And I don't know if that makes sense, but taking out the little person aspect and acknowledging this is a human being going through the same experience that you had gone through at a similar age. I saw that as a time where I'm like, you know what, I want to be able to be strong and there for you. So for myself, I felt like that's how our relationship has changed as adults because I started to realize and understand the difference between little brother person and person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that to add on to that, before I mention mine, it's just you know, it's always been like I always wanted to be with you, and I still do, right? Like I always wanted to follow what you did, and I always looked for your guidance, and you did do a great job, and you still are doing a great job. We're a lot older now from when we were 14 and 12, um, but I think that growing up, um, we definitely battled with, just brothers, right? So rivalries, fights and everything, which was pretty funny. I look back and it's just a good memory to have. Um, but I also think that our relationship changed. I won't go into too much detail, but when we kind of got into an argument about like how you mentioned, like you giving me the guidance, but not so much being like my father,
Yep,
being like
yep.
an older brother. Um, and, it changed since then because I became, because when I growing up, I'm very independent. So I never said anything to you, or when things were bothering me, I never talked to you about girls. I didn't talk to you about anything, right? I kept everything to myself. But I think since then, that has changed. I'm more open and, about girls, about life, and about truly how I'm feeling. So I think our relationship has gotten better since, last year, 2 years ago. Like every day, I feel like progressively gets better because we get closer.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but side note, we do have a sister as well. So she's very It's not just me and my brother, right? Um, but our sister um, also lives in another state, but we do love her. So shout out. What's her gamer tag? Lore, T with
Uh,
Lore,
T
or
with T with T with Laura, I think, or something like
I
that.
think something like that. But shout out to our sister. But yeah, so no, our relationship definitely has changed um, in a good way. Obviously, it's all good. I can't remember like like we have like little micro fights, but I can't remember. I think that last fight we had where like we were like didn't talk for like a day or so was that one fight when I said like be my brother, not my father. I think that was our last fight, like our big one. I can't remember because we definitely had micro fights, right? That's just how
Yeah.
siblings go. But I think the turning point was that one, and hopefully we don't have another one. But yeah, no, we definitely I like that you have and you continue to guide me. There's things that I want to do because you did, or you're doing. And a funny one um, was when you got a buzz cut. Like you're known for your buzz cuts, right? And I remember last year I was just like, you know what, man? Like I don't know what to do. So I texted you. I'm like, should I get a buzz cut? And you're like, yeah, do it, do it. And then I was like, I don't know, I don't know. And then I ended up doing it. And then people were asking me, why'd you get a buzz cut? And I was like, oh, my brother had one. It's like it's just like that things that your brother does or someone that you look up to does that you want to do as well. So it's pretty funny, and just a funny buzz cut. But yeah,
I think, yeah, no, I think you kind of transitioned to that even better to now that second icebreaker question. What you've learned from each other. I'll, of course, start. Jason, I actually, as I've said many times, I've learned a lot from you. I think the biggest thing is time management and patience. Jakey here is a big person when it comes to punctuality. You set plans with my man, you set plans with him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's you tell him 3 o'clock, it is 3 o'clock. Not 3:02, not 3:01, not 3 o'clock and 30 seconds. It's 3 o'clock, right? It's all about punctuality because at the end of the day it's about respect. Respecting people's time and respecting people's energy and effort. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned. And then the that like again that falls into patience and time management. And what I mean more so by patience is like Jason mentioned, it was like growing up a little annoying where you had a little brother that you could visibly see is feeling some type of way. And you go up to him and you ask him what's wrong and he says nothing, but you know something's wrong and you keep asking and he gets more mad because you keep asking. And I'll never forget that moment where, although I was annoying, I felt like I needed to go through all that rejection of him avoiding wanting to talk about emotions to being able to one day, like, Jay, what's wrong? I'm feeling this way. And then finally going into how he felt. That's what I meant by patience. Although we were brothers, grew up in the same house and everything like that, I still needed to understand that, again, it still took time for him to express what was going on. Overall, even if it was good or bad, regardless of what it was, it just took time. So that's what I meant by learning from you that it just takes patience and that. So I would say those, I'm going to stay with two because if in all honesty, I could go on and talk for 17 hours, 30 hours about the things I've learned from you, but those are the two biggest things I would say I learned.
yeah, no, I appreciate the niceness that you are showing right now. Um, but yeah, I think
Let me cut you off real quick. It's not like I'm just nice for the podcast. I'm always nice. Okay. Maybe sometimes a little bit, not really, but like okay. Go ahead. My bad.
no, you're good. That's funny. But no, I think the biggest thing for me that I learned was being your own person. I think like growing up, we went to high school together. We went to middle school together. Um, so we kind of like were with each other the whole time, right? But seeing you kind of grow up, you always did what you wanted, and you always said what you wanted, and you stick to what you believe in. And that is something that I want to take because I I like there's a point in time where you kept saying current events that were going on. You kept saying, "Oh, I believe in this, I believe in that," and I'm like, okay, but like, what are you doing? Like, you're telling me to believe one way, but what are your actions? And then you started taking actions, and that is something that not a lot of people can do because I forgot the term, but Community said it in the show Community when Britta said, "I'm just basically a pretender," right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot the term, but and then you said it too. You're like, well, I was that too, but now I've changed,
yeah,
and I want to take that into my own life because I want to start being someone that does what they want out of their comfort zone and just trying new things. Um, but no, I think that definitely is the biggest takeaway. And that's a recent one too. And
yeah,
like how you said, if this whole theme, we can switch this whole theme right now if we wanted to kind of being like what we learned from each other. But I think that's the biggest thing that as a human being right now in this current day and age that I've taken and I want to take into my own personal life. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's thank you also for being nice on this
Cool. I
topic.
and for me, I am putting it on a show. So
That's funny. All right. So, kind of just moving this along now to now that we got these icebreakers out the way. What are your goals? Do you want to start this off? You want me to start it off?
Um, I think I could start. We
Okay.
can go from there. We'll go one and one. So we'll do
For
that. We
sure.
have a total of three goals.
For
So one
sure.
and one. So the first one. I always saw money as like not greedy, but it always like I have money, I want to spend it. That's always how I saw money. Always, always, always. Everything I had money, I'm like, oh, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. But growing up, I kind of realized that money is a tool. You know, so my first goal is save 6K as an emergency fund.
Oof.
So it's a lot of money. I will say it's a lot of money, but I think getting to that goal will show that it is possible. The highest I
Yeah.
think I've ever saved in one summer, so like 2 months, and that was with me getting paid like good money, was 4K.
Mm-hmm.
I could have saved 8K, but I saved 4K because I was other expenses. Um, but no, yeah, that's the biggest thing for me was to save 6K because and that leads into investing, right? A micro goal in that 6K is investing. I've talked to a lot of people, and I think investing in stuff is smart. Starting a Roth IRA and uh, investing in ETFs or other single stocks is something that I want to do, and it's something that you have to learn, right? It's not like don't jump into it right away because it's gonna bite you in the butt if you do, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So
Yeah. I think you definitely have a huge advantage right now too with what you're going through in your education experience also. So I think that's a huge pro. And I look forward to it when my man says his extra degree in 18 months so I can consult him for financial advice as well too because I know he's going to have the ins and outs of Jay or Andy, you should do this, you know what I mean? So I look forward to that. So kind of sticking to kind of like what he said with his is similarly, I've been saving and a purchase that I intend on making is a car purchase.
ooh, or
For those, of course, that are listening, I've been known to be not so lucky with cars. My very first car when I was 17 was a Subaru, a basic sedan Subaru, 2006, I think, year, and a Subaru Legacy to be specific. But what happened with it is that I put over, I want to say honestly, like at least over a span of what 4 years was like 15, maybe $10,000 in repairs alone. Where oftentimes it'd be 1 to 2 weeks at a time where I'd have to wait for parts to come in because of it being a model that they don't really have and have to wait to order. So that being a goal for me is a big one right now because right now I'm rocking my 2004 Honda Odyssey that's on its That's a mule. It's on 210,000 miles right now. It's got 210,000 miles right now.
Keep in
And
mind that that car has been passed down. I drove that
yeah,
car for 2 years, and
yep,
then I think Dad drove it for 2 years as well.
yeah,
So it has it that's it's has its miles. So
yeah. It's been rocking the last since I've had it since my Subaru died in 21. And my van was given to me because Jason, you got your car then in 21 also or 22.
yes, it was
Yeah,
21 going into
yeah.
22.
Yeah, because for temporarily I had a Honda Civic, but then I gave that back to my father because then
Oh, you
that's when
did.
yeah,
That's yeah.
that
And
Honda
it's
Civic was
funny.
even more of a beater.
Funny it was, yeah, but it's funny going back to your first car. I remember when you got it. It was I think Mom paid it. I don't know if Dad chipped
She
in, but
did.
I think
Yeah,
I think Mom paid
Dad
it,
paid insurance.
and it was pretty nice because I remember they were gonna buy you this blue car. I
Blue
remember
Taurus,
it.
Toyota
It was
Taurus,
yeah,
Ford Taurus. Yeah,
it was a nice car too. But then Dad saw like this on the side of the road, so they bought that. And I remember you weren't here. I think you were in like that Deca thing, but I know you weren't here. Um, and then they put the car right here, like right in the backyard. And I remember I saw it and I was like, holy, like that's my brother's car, which is pretty cool because it shows like us growing up, and it's pretty cool because then that unleashed me and you being able to go wherever we wanted to. I
yeah,
think we even took that car when it was on its last leg for that car. We went to Kenosha. I don't know if you
yeah,
remember. Just
yeah.
we're like, oh, let's just go, and we went. So, but no, yeah, just bringing that up. You did have how many cars? Three cars before you're this new car that you're
The
getting.
the Subaru, the Honda, and the van. Yeah,
Yeah, three cars.
yeah, yeah,
I had two cars before I have my car now. I had two minivans, one gold one and then one blue one. So
yeah. And then
now
your
I
Honda
drive
now.
a
Yeah.
Honda. So pretty nice.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
but no, that's nice. So when you're gonna buy this car?
So it's gonna be definitely on my birthday. On my birthday. So my birthday is February 26th, 2026, of course.
Golden year too.
Yep. That's what I said. This year's the golden birthday, so it's weird, 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 weird. But yeah, February 26th, Thursday. I'm taking off work. I forgot to send out it. I'm gonna send it on Monday. I'm gonna have to send out my PTO day off. So everybody at work already knows too. It's pretty cool. I'm thinking about asking this one person that I work with that's that takes pictures, if she can meet me at some point, like either that day or and that weekend, so then she could take some flicks, so I can flex it on the gram or whatever. But because I'm off social media right now too, so it'd be kind of a good way to go back on socials like that. So
As you should, because I mean, not everyone is fortunate, or not everyone has like the discipline to save the money that you've been saving, and not that you're being frugal in a bad way, but like you know what you want. You have a goal,
hmm
right? That's
hmm
the thing. Um,
yeah.
but no, that's good. But kind of looking at the notes, you say um, just car purchase. Do you have any car in mind, or is that kind of just a secret for the podcast that leads into but you buying a car?
So I'll say this. I'm torn. The biggest thing I'm torn apart is getting a car off the lot with 0 miles, or getting a car that has at a minimum like 20K mile, or at a maximum of 20K miles. The car in question that I fell in love with since 2022. I walked in. So let me give a backstory real quick. I walked into a Toyota dealership thinking I was gonna walk out with a Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, Sport. I'm sorry. I obviously did not. But when I was there for the test drive, because I ended up test driving the Pro because they didn't have the Sport in stock. Um, I remember walking out and I seeing the Toyota Crown and I was like, "Whoa, what car is that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's just a Toyota Crown." And then I saw the GR86. GR86 is a two-door manual, so or stick shift. But because I'm not too privy on that, I obviously am not going to make that purchase. But that Toyota Crown ever since has been in my mind. And then actually, I didn't tell you this, Jay, but yesterday there's someone at work that has the model, the 2024 model of the Toyota Crown. I talked to them about it, and they say they love everything about it. There's only one thing that's negative about it is that due to it being a hybrid vehicle, when you don't have like when you have gas and you want to switch it or whatever, the option, um, what's it called? You have to pay a fee when you get your plates or whatever, something like that, or stick or something like that because of it being an EV technically, an electric vehicle. But I'm not sure to the extent of that. I didn't look up my own personal information. As I told you, Jake, you know, my biggest thing is like do your own research. But like, I didn't do that, but like I'm just sharing what was told to me. And then they said the sports mode was dope as hell. So I'm just that's what I guess when I say when my notes with car purchase, I'm still debating because if I do go the route of pre-owned, it would be the Toyota Crown because right now new models are right under 60 or they're shy of 60K. And that's just a little bit out of my budget, just a little bit because while I most definitely can, do I really want to be paycheck to paycheck in this economy right now? No. So that's why I'm thinking about the pre-owned. But yeah, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
that's good because you understand that you know what money you have, right? And you understand the outside of stuff because you know you're paying for rent at your apartment, right? It's a lot. That's one thing. Then you add insurance, and you add the car payment, then you add your other stuff that you're paying for. So you're smart. Not a lot of people would think about a lot of things. So
Yeah. Going
um,
into second goal.
yeah. So second goal is a little touchy, but I've always like not struggled with it, but this recent year was tough on me, and I like struggled with bad mental health, right? And I'm still struggling a little bit, but I day by day I can see myself getting a little bit better. And one thing that I wanted to be a part of was like a foundation. I wanted to start not me start, but like be a part of people, go to meetings, talk to others, and so I can help them, they can help me. And one foundation I found is called the NAMI Foundation. Um, and yeah, like I just kind of wanted to. I think that leads into me also getting better because I'm going to these groups, support groups, and stuff like that. So from there, I don't know what's to come, but I definitely want to be, I guess, an advocate for mental health, be there for people um, while I help myself. So
I think that's a great goal. And actually, I didn't. You must have added that note like within minutes of this because I would have told you about Nami. Like I went to a
oh,
training
you
for
know it?
them.
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
went. This is a very pop. This is one of the most biggest foundations for mental health. There's some. I can even bring you. Well, I could bring you brochure. I could send you pictures of brochures, but obviously they're more targeted within the state that I reside in. But within what they can connect to, because obviously you're not going to drive where I am, right, to make
Yeah.
meetings. But from what I do know, from what I experienced in the state that I reside in, with what they do during, because this was for a work event, like I literally got paid to do this training where we're understanding first for one what NAMI actually is and what they do for people regarding again being advocates for mental health. And one thing that really connected with me and honestly stayed with me was the person that was there that literally they were like probably in 20, maybe let's put them at 26. Let's put them at 26. They were a part of NAMI since they were themselves like 16 because they themselves like or 18 or something like that or some around that age like they've been there for over a decade that they first started off by just going to those meetings for getting help for himself. While I know you're not saying you're doing that to get help for yourself, you're just doing that to expand and become this advocate for mental health. But that's how it started for him, where he started going to these meetings and within 10 years time or whatever, because he kept on going to them, he then wanted to then become involved after a few years. Once he got involved, it became basically his position to lead these sessions, lead these groups, lead these conversations. Thinking of them as like TED Talks and stuff like that and whatnot, to connect them with resources and providers and networks and within their community. So I think you chose a great one if that's the one because it's the biggest, most popular one, at least that comes to my mind. If I'm not mistaken, too, I actually probably even have a Nami pen somewhere around. I'm not kidding. Like I really do. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's definitely a good. I didn't know
yeah.
that was the one you were finding. That's good.
No, like if I'm being honest too, like I did just add that note because I
Yeah,
wanted to see, okay, like what, like I don't want to just say be an advocate. Like like what I've learned from you, like take action into it.
yeah.
So Yeah, NAMI, I think, is the one I'm going to go with. I think they have support groups Monday through Friday, but I think I have to like play around with it. I literally researched it today, but definitely I'm glad that, you can kind of speak on NAMI because you
Oh
know it,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
that's definitely one thing. And I think relating to what you said, you're the person that was there for 10 years, um, like I am going to like better myself,
of course.
but definitely wanting to take a step into like once I'm better, like helping others.
Yeah,
Not so much am I gonna make it like my full-time job. I mean, you never know, right? But like I definitely want this to be something that, it's important to me, right?
yeah,
Especially for men, right? Because, growing up or in the society, we're told that men have to take care of everything, men have to never cry, men have to do this, men have to like there's a lot of pressure. Um, and I'm not, you know, saying anything wrong. Like women have a lot of stress as well, but as a man, I know how a man feels.
yeah,
Um, so that's definitely my, I guess, sensitive goal of 2026.
yeah. No, that's a great goal. I think that's a really big goal that I'm glad that it is one for you. I think good. Like honestly, um, what's it called? To kind of move a little bit similar to what you're saying. A second goal for myself. I mean, I feel like I've been saying I want to be an advocate for mental health because of what I do with my job. But am I? I could be better, but I'm not. I would say in the sense of like again myself. So a goal for me is not necessarily be an advocate for mental health, but it's be more social. I do feel like I not force myself or pretend, but I feel like sometimes I put myself in this bubble or box and I don't move out of it. But I myself placed myself in there. So by becoming more social, I feel like I'd be able to network more, overall be friendly with people, have more experiences. Like I was telling, Jakey about people that I started meeting at work that have been there for less than a year from me. So I've been there for over 4 years, right? And realizing that they were there for 3 years and never experiencing any interaction with them up until the last 3 months, it's like, wow, like I would have never known you existed if I didn't open my eyes and turn to the right, and realize, hey, there's another human right next to me, just like I was saying earlier. Because I feel like, I mean, this is for another episode, but obviously, when you're so tunnel visioned, when you're in a relationship and you work from home, all you care about is the person that you date on the screen, and you're there to do your job. So when that obviously transitioned into it's just you alone in a state, I started looking around and then that's how I be connected. And so that's made me happier, I think. And it's given it does I don't want to say it's giving me my spark back. I don't want to say that because it hasn't. But it's shown me that it could give me my spark back. It shows me where I was like, "Hey, you remember Andy from high school? You remember Andy from college? I miss him." Andy right now is an adult. Nothing wrong with it, but like Andy as an adult needs to have more fun. Andy as an adult needs to be less serious, less serious is honestly the best. I need to have more fun. I need to be more goofy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you definitely are goofy. I think that um, when you come home and when everyone comes home, everyone, exactly right. Everyone comes home. It's like, we're back to our normal selves. But I think that's the biggest thing because we all live alone essentially. Um, we have to find the time to be social and to go to events. And to kind of piggyback off that, I actually went. Um, I didn't tell you this, but I went with Dev, my buddy, and we went to go feed the homeless yesterday. And that
Mm,
was something that like I would have never thought of doing. But he has this foundation that he's a part of, and he invited me to go, and that was pretty nice. I met a lot of people, and that was a social thing for me, right? I don't really like to go out as much, and when I say out, I don't mean like bars and stuff. I just mean out in general. I like to be by
mm,
myself. So being a part of that was definitely pretty nice. But yeah, I think being in a place where you are, there's so many things that you can do, right?
yeah.
And I think one thing I really like that you did was, you were working remote, right? Or not remote, but you were working um, at home and you were going to the office when you needed to. You went out on visits and stuff. But you changing the scenery and going, having a cubicle now at work allowed you to be more social, like you said, right? Remote work is great. I love it because I wake up and I do my work. But like eventually, I want to get into that office space. I want to have team meetings in person, and I want to talk to other people. So that's definitely something that I want to do as well. So that's I would say that's a great goal for you, and I hope you accomplish it. And I have seen that you've been doing things out of the ordinary to um, something that you normally never did. So
Yeah. And I think leading to our last goal that we kind of share for this year. Do you mind if I just say, Jay?
go for it. Yeah, it's the same thing. So
Yeah. So JJ's and I's essentially third goal of this year is so Jason and I both are having a 10K in March, and then we have a half marathon in April. And
April.
correct me if I'm wrong, you decided that this year you are also deciding a full marathon, Jay?
Correct. I looked it up
Yeah.
and I said I'm going to do it. I haven't registered yet, but I found one in September.
And yeah, for me, I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, in all honesty, though, this would have been the best year to do a full marathon because you're doing a 10K, then a half K, then a full K. But I personally, I know I'm not mentally prepared for that. As much as I would do it, I would only do it because it would be with my brother, and I don't want that to be the reason. Jason said something before where he's like, "Do it because you want to do it, not because I do it alone." So
That's the thing.
so that's why I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be real with myself. As much as I'm sure I can push myself to that point, but I already have a lot on my plate, and I already only added the 10K, not out of because my brother wanted to, but it was like, you know what, it would be fun to do a 10K because I've never done a 10K. We randomly did a 5K in October, and so like now this year for our third goal, completing this would be Jason and I's first 10K, and this would be my third half marathon, and this would be his first half marathon.
And our first
And
together.
yeah, and I think this guy in his head, like, he really wants to
All right,
beat
bro. If
me.
you're gonna say
It's
if you're gonna say I'm not gonna beat you, just stop. Just stop.
no, I'm not
Stop.
gonna go into that, but that's what I was trying to explain to him. Jason is a freak of nature. He is an athlete's athlete. Okay, this kid can never play any sport in his entire life, and you ask him to play it, and he's gonna beat you in it. Okay, that's just his mo. That is Jason. He is a beast. He's an animal. He is a freak of nature. He's an athlete. That's what he is. Okay. So when it comes to half, all I was trying to explain is, sí, a ves, mira la cara, mira la cara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
he has more
anyway,
experience. That's
anyway, it's gonna be fun. I'm very excited for the 10K, and I'm even more excited for the half. So regardless of what happens, I want to just kind of do a quick full circle moment, Jakey. Is even if he does beat me, just like I told him when I was 14, that my little brother is so no, I wouldn't. I'd be so happy. I'm so like I would be. I'm always proud of my brother. He always is making me proud. So I'll know right now we're just joshing, joking around, and I still stand with what I say. I'm gonna beat him in the half K or half marathon. If he does end up beating me, I would be so proud because while I know I'm gonna beat my own time for it being my third race, I'd be happy knowing that on his first race he did better than his brother that took 3 races. Because again, that just shows how determined this kid is, how willing he is to put his mind to something and actually complete it and do it. So, yeah, that's
But
what I was saying.
here's the thing though. So this whole time, the reason why I wanted to run the marathon or half marathon, um, was because I wanted to run with you, right? And you made it a whole competition when you were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you one day," and I was like, "Bro,
I didn't say it like that
yeah,
either.
you
I
did,
just
bro.
no, no,
Yes,
no.
you
I told
did.
him like this. I told him like this. I told him like this. I literally said it exactly how I'm gonna say it right now. Jason, I'm pretty confident that although it's your first race, I'm gonna win, but I'm still gonna practice and do my training because I know we're not gonna be running at the same pace. And so he got offended very fast. And that with Jason and again, I didn't say a bad thing, but I always forget Jason and I were competitive. So to
We are."
Jason, that was to JJ, those were the gears turning to, all right, MFR, this is it. This is a race that we're running. It's not a race with 1,000 other people. It's a race with one other person, me and you, dude. So at the end of the day, like I said, my dream is we both get at a minimum, at the max, an hour 45, and we cross that line within seconds to mean difference. That would be dope because my original goal during my first half was 45 minutes. I got an hour 55, I think. And then with my second half, same goal, hour 45, but I did not train that last year. I regret it, but still got under 2 hours. I got an hour 59. So the fact that I didn't train and I got shy of 4 minutes, not bad at all. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Feel free to.
Yeah. No, what's crazy too is that when I was like researching the marathons to do, they were just saying that like well, first I didn't know you needed to qualify. So hold on, let me backtrack. The reason why I'm doing the marathon was like I want to run the Chicago Marathon, but I didn't know you needed to apply. I really didn't like. I didn't know that they just you can sign up and whatever. So you have to. I guess it says you have to run a marathon in under I think sub 2:15 or something like that. Could be wrong. Um, but I'm running this marathon so then I can run in 2027 the Chicago Marathon. And what's pretty cool is that I found out I was on like scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and this girl posted that she competed um, the All World Marathon Majors, which is called the Abbott Award, and it's all it's Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York, all their marathons. If you compete that, then you get this award. So it'd be pretty cool. That's nothing like if I don't complete all those 6 marathons, then I'm a failure. But it would be pretty cool if I would be able to do that. I do know that all of them are very hard to get into. So there's no time stamp for that, but that's just definitely something that I would love to do. And I think running this marathon in September is also a Boston qualifier. So if the Boston Marathon comes first and I get the opportunity to run that, then I'll do that, right? And it's also pretty cool because then I get to travel a little bit. I'll be there for a week or whatever, do that, come home. So yeah, that's definitely something that I want to do and hope to do. And then that's the reason why I wanted to run the marathon too. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, up to
Mhm.
you. And
I think you left one big piece out though.
what? That I'm going to beat you?
This
I
month,
already said that.
the 5K.
In October? The one
Yeah,
we just ran?
the first race that you ran.
Oh, when I got beat by an 11-year-old kid or what?
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna say that you got first place.
Second. First in male, but second overall.
First in, yeah,
First adult.
first in
First adult.
adult. First, not even in male. You were second in male, if we're putting it on us. But okay, first in adult. But the fact that you got that in, you got a 5K in 19 minutes,
Um,
18 minutes.
I think it was 19. I have the medal right here.
Bite it, bite it, bite it. Huh? Yeah,
But no, it
mine
was pretty
doesn't.
cool. It's pretty
Mine
cool.
don't stay.
Do you wanna say what happened to you? Because I honestly think we could have gone together, but something happened. I think he got a little bit too nervous and he slowed down. So.
I wish I knew what we had the night before because I wouldn't have had the same thing. But what ended up happening was a mile in, a mile and a quarter in, we were 1.25 in. Out of nowhere, my tummy started hurting. Um, so I go to the portas for 4 to 5 minutes, and then I get out. So the time that I got was 4 to 5 minutes after his, which was 25 minutes. So that, yeah, it was. I truly told myself, I truly believe that I could have gotten the same time as Jay. I
I
really
think so
do.
too.
I was with
Let's see.
him the whole time. I was with them the whole time. Out of nowhere, truth that I couldn't. I was like, all right, I
So,
guess this is it.
so I got a question.
So what's up? What's up?
If that didn't happen, right, and it's me and you, right, because it was just me by myself. I mean, the little kid crossed. I didn't even. I saw him, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
even
yeah.
if I sprint, right, if it's me and you, would you race, or would you kind of let me go? Or what would you do? What would your reaction be in that
Well,
scenario?
obviously, let's put this on straight. I This is what I also said to Jay, that he's a sprinter and I'm a distance runner. That's why I also told him that I feel like I'm gonna do better in the half the first time around,
But
because
I'm not. I
he's gonna
ran
come
long
out.
distance in high school, bro.
No, but you didn't though, because that what, running 4 laps, 1 mile around the gym.
No.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
you're not
You're
wrong.
not a distance. That's what I'm saying. I know I'm not wrong. That's why I said it. That's what I mean. Like that's why I kept saying what I said, because like although Jason is a freak of nature, I mean again, like the most he's ran up to was 8 miles, and I told him the most I've run up to was 10, and even that was a mistake because I should have ran up to 13. I should have done a half. Like I should have done that. Like, but that's what I mean. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. But
Okay,
I
okay.
think what I
What
would
would
have
you have
done, I think what I would have done is, even if I wanted to sprint, I don't think that I would have beat you because you were faster at sprinting. So that's what I mean. Like I'll have that burst of energy for a few seconds, but you're the one that's accustomed to that. You were at a solid pace the entire time. You were never at 100. You know what I'm saying? Whereas for me, I probably was at 75, 80, because that's including my sprinting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because of I'm a
So your
distance runner.
so your 100 would have been if you were sprinting,
Right.
or
Wait,
or
what?
no, because you are right. Like I was I was at 100 if I was going just to for a certain time,
Hmm.
but I reached 100 when I was about to cross the finish line because I was, I didn't even feel my legs. Like I was moving, striding, and everything. Um, but I guess like how you said, you gradually went up in pace. Um,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. So like, but I think whereas for you, it's just kind of like, oh, I need to put the burners, easy, and then you just go.
yeah,
So
okay,
that's why
that's another.
I
Yeah,
think if I would have liked, I would have liked to have ran and crossed together. But I know damn well if we were in that moment, which we'll never know unless we do a 5K again together, is I know damn well if I looked at Jay, we both would laugh and we both would sprint. We wouldn't say anything. We just both would sprint. I know us. I know us. We would do that, bro.
100%. But if we um, talked about it and if we like planned it, then yeah, I would love to cross the finish line with you. I think it'd be pretty funny, but um, having that burst of energy at the end and still the competitive energy of just brothers being brothers is always going to be there. Um, but I definitely know that um, even if I'm dead tired and I don't know the map of the half marathon, but if I see you on a turn and you're a couple people in front of me, I'm gonna race to beat you because I'm right there. So you better. I'm telling you right now. And when's the thing? In April. I'm telling you, January
April 10th,
10th.
I think. It's actually in
Okay,
3 months now.
3 months exactly. So I'm telling you,
Also,
three
have you
months
started
from now,
training?
this week, this upcoming Monday. So I'm telling you right now, if I see you a couple people ahead of me, I am going to make sure everything in my power to try to beat you. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna trip you. I'm gonna play fair, but you'll definitely see your brother.
Yeah, no, and
As,
I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that at one point or another, I will see you at the race.
but it is all fun and games though because it's definitely I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. This marathon will or a half marathon will be a little bit more like serious because you are running it with someone. Although we're not running like hand in hand, but I'm competing. Yes, against myself because I always say you versus you, but that little my brother's running this. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I mean? I don't know.
that's what I meant about you're not. I'm not racing against 1,000 other people. I'm racing against one other person, and it's not myself
Exactly.
this time.
Exactly.
So
And yeah, but I still do stand where it's whatever happens, um, you beat your personal goal. Because my personal goal, I haven't set one yet, but one of them is definitely to beat you. So
oh, puta. Okay, so J, you should do put your goal at 145. You totally could do it. If you put your goal at 145, because like for me, for example, I already, you know that I already started my training with running. I started doing more
yeah,
leg workouts. Like I ran 2 miles 2 days ago. Honestly, great timing. I ran it at an average of a 8 minute mile pace, and that's perfect. That's where I want to be, because last time where I started, I was like at 9:50. Like, well, 2 years ago when I started, but again at running, you know. and then like gradually going down. So like the fact that I did it at an average 8 minute mile pace, like that's 16 minutes and 2 miles. That's amazing. So where was I going with this? I don't know, but
But yeah, I think we'll see. Because it's definitely it's gonna be fun. It's like a game, right? So I'm happy that we're doing that. I'm happy that we're doing a lot of things, right? And I think the one thing, the last goal that I want to say for us, um, well, it's gonna say it so, but we grew up in Chicago, not Chicago, but we grew up in Illinois, right? So we never really watched football, but one goal we have that we hope is can happen when we're alive is the Bears advancing and winning the Super Bowl. They play today against the Packers, right? Biggest rivalry in football history, right? It's the Bears' incredible season. They're 11-6. The Packers are 9-7-1, right? So they split the regular season at one game apiece. The Bears obviously they were winning a lot of games towards the end of the fourth quarter, so that's big for them. But I also think that they have the momentum, and I hope that they can accomplish that goal. And for us Chicagoans, um, they win. Even if they lose, right, the next round. But as long as they beat the Packers, I think that's the biggest thing. The game's today at 7. This is not a paid promotion again, but it's on Prime. So um, yeah, it's in Chicago. Both teams aren't shy of the weather. It's 36 degrees right now. It's sunny right now. I don't know how it's in where the Packers play, but yeah. So hopefully that goal gets accomplished today.
yeah, and we'll basically see that's the goal as fans, right? Because when you're born in the place, you gotta rock with them um, until they,
Until
until
yeah, it's
yeah,
funny.
until
It's because I was walking around and I was like, why is everyone wearing bear stuff? Like, and then when I tell you bear stuff, dude, obviously, yeah, we're from Chicago. You see people support their teams, but I forgot what store I was at, but it just bears and bears and bears. I was like, oh my! And then I realized they're playing this weekend against who? The Packers, a
Mhm,
rivalry, Chicago, Wisconsin. But no,
mhm.
yeah, that's something that's cool. But no, I think that kind of wraps up our podcast. For the first ever episode of Manitos, we talked about some icebreakers. We mentioned our 2026 goals, and as your younger brother, I want to say thank you for being and spending time with your younger brother. And although this is my goal, you're helping me accomplish it. You're not, when I asked you, you didn't say no, no, no. You just said let's talk about it in person. And little did we know, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, we're recording our first episode.
Yeah, actually 2 weeks if you really think about it. 2 weeks,
Yeah, that is true.
two
That
weeks
is
later.
true.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I hope that we
absolutely.
can continue it.
Yeah, it was fun. I hope the audience is held up on the edge of their seat the entire time. But I look forward to the next time we talk.
Of course. But all right, this was the first episode of Manitos, and we'll see you at the next one.